ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम श्री कृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः। Pranams everyone. So we are in chapter 13, shloka number 8. Shri Bhagavanuvacha amanitvam adhambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः. So in this, Bhagavan is giving list of values that are needed for self-knowledge, for Atma Jnana. And he basically classifies them as Jnanam within this chapter. And we had seen Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, and we were looking into Kshanti. Amanitvam is basically humility, Vinayam, to ensure that there is no feeling of superiority or inferiority complex. There is no complex of either superiority or inferiority. That is Amanitvam. Adambitvam is simplicity. Basically, the expressed version of Manitvam is Dambitvam. So, being pretentious is Dambitvam. So, not being simple is Adambitvam. So in all forms, in the way we speak, the way we dress, the way we behave, the way we talk, the way we act, the way we describe ourselves, in all those we should have adhambam. We should have humility and simplicity together. And then we saw ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha we saw. Ahimsa is basically not hurting others at all three levels. Either through physically, through body, or through words, or through mind. Mano, vak, kaya. So in all three levels, following ahimsa. And we saw ahimsa, we saw why it will have, basically because many reasons. Dvesham or krodham or carelessness or lack of patience, we saw. Those are the reasons why we are not able to follow ahimsa. Then we saw shanti. Shanti, we saw, has got two meanings. One is titiksha and the other one is kshama. Titiksha again has got, basically we saw two meanings to titiksha. One is that mental resistance or that forbearance, and the other one is patience. And we saw titiksha is about endurance, be able to endure the dualities in life. Life is all about dualities. We are always joy and sorrow, hot and cold, pain and pleasure, manam and apamanam. People praise us, some people despise us. So all those things and humiliate us. So taking all of them in stride is titiksha. And titiksha is also about enduring some choiceless situations. A lot of those situations in life for us are choiceless. There are certain situations where we are able to make some change, but many a times we will have to live with that change. And when we have to live with that change without grumbling, without complaining, that life is called as a life of titiksha. In the sense, we have to get used to the difficulties. And why choiceless situations? Choiceless situations, because why we feel unhappy? Because we have desire, inner desire of every situation, we have a desire about everything in life, as to how that person should behave, how my life should be, what sort of environment should I be in. Everything we have a desire. So now when things don't go according to our desire, then it becomes choiceless. That is when we call it as choiceless. And then when it is choiceless, we have to accept it, endure it. And how do we actually build this? By giving ourselves some bit of abhyasam, practice, some bit of pain. We have to go through some bit of pain, some bit of difficulty voluntarily. So by doing some upavasam, by doing some tirtha yatra, by doing some mauna vrata, all those things, by doing that we are able to build our titiksha. And as we build titiksha, it is a very important value to have. Titiksha is a very important value for getting this self-knowledge. Generally speaking, also, even from our laukika standpoint, even from our material life standpoint, having titiksha is very important. If we look at some of the achievers, whether be it in sport or any place, we would have seen that these people would have endured a lot of difficulties. If you want to be a top sports person, you will have to put in a lot of hard work. You will have to physically endure a lot of pain to be able to achieve. So titiksha is an important value, whatever be the goal of our life, whether material goal or spiritual goal. So titiksha. And titiksha also I said patience. Having that patience is very important. Some people would be restless if they are asked to stand in a queue, or if they are made to wait, or if they are actually not immediately looked after. We will have to go through this. We will have to accept. We will have to be patient. We will have to develop patience. Patience is very important. There is a saying in Tamil, Purmayalvar Bhumi Kapar. So one who is able to actually have that patience can actually even rule the world. So patience is a very important value. So as I said, Shanti has got two meanings, Titiksha and Kshama. We have seen Titiksha. Now we will see Kshama. Kshama means forgiveness. So when we do any mistake, we expect others to forgive us. We expect others to ignore us, ignore the mistake, forgive us, accept us. But we do not want to ignore or forgive others. That is the problem. We have to learn to build that value. And what happens if we don't forgive? If we don't forgive, we internally develop dvesha. We internally develop enmity. We internally develop a hatred feeling. And that will actually cause us a lot of problems. So the ability to forgive others is very important. If others are not able to forgive us, it is their problem. We should not be here judging others. As I said at the start of this spiritual class itself, spiritual session itself, the whole thing is not about judging whether others have these or not. It is not about whether my spouse has it. It is not about whether my kids have it, whether my in-laws have it, or my boss has it, my neighbors have it, my friends have it. It is about us. It is for us to reflect whether I have this value or not. So if others are not able to forgive us, it is their problem. But we should be in a position to forgive others, so that it does not develop into a hatred or enmity. And how do I know whether I have hatred or enmity or a good feeling about others? How do I test it? Now, if I think of that person and if my mind is calm, then I know that I don't have any hatred on that person. But if I think of that person and my mind is not calm, then there could be hatred, vengeance, anger, all kinds of feelings that are coming into my mind. So this is a kind of a self-reflection test we can take to see on who we have these feelings, and see how we can actually remove them. And remember, if I forgive someone, I get the first benefit, because my mind becomes calm. So I get the first benefit out of forgiveness. Not that by forgiving I am actually doing a favor for others or the other person. By forgiving others, I make a favor to myself. And forgiveness can be possible only out of strength. Only a strong person will be able to forgive. Only a person of strength can forgive. So this will show, when I forgive, whether I am a person of strength or not. For example, I'll give you an example. If there are two boys, they fight. With equal age and strength, if they fight, it's okay. But if a 3-year-old boy tries to fight with a 20-year-old boy, the 20-year-old boy will say, I will forgive you. Why? Not because he can afford to do it, because he's got the strength, he's got the power of strength. So only a person of strength will be able to forgive. Forgiveness out of fear. I forgive you because I don't want to fight with you because I know that I will lose. Or forgiveness out of cowardliness. That is different. What we are saying is, if you have the strength to forgive, you should forgive. As a virtue, to forgive is not very easy. It is very difficult. It is not easy for us to forgive others, but what we have to do is to keep reflecting. We don't reflect on how many times we expect others to forgive us. We think we are infallible. We think we do not make any mistakes. Or even if we make mistakes, we think those are all justified. And therefore we expect the others to forgive us. We have to look from their point of view also. And we have to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is not easy, and that's why Bhagavan has listed it here as Shanti. Why sometimes we are not able to forgive? Because when we sometimes think, we feel that if I forgive this person, the other person might think that what he or she has done is actually right. So we do not want to forgive them. They think that if I forgive, they think that what they have done is right and they may get away with it. It is okay. Shastra says it is okay. The other person, let the other person think that they have won, or they let the other person think that they have actually not done anything wrong. But the other person will have to face the repercussions. They will face their own karma. They will have their own outcome for this. By forgiving, I make sure that I do not carry any grudge. I make sure that I do not carry any enmity. And that is important. So the mind has to be trained. The mind has to be trained in such a way that even when the other person is trying to commit a mistake, I am ready to forgive. Because a lot of times we know that the person is actually scheming or doing things to actually create problems for us. We should be in a position to forgive them. And remember, forgiveness is not about responding, like giving a punishment to an employee or a worker. In those places, it doesn't say you have to forgive. Remember, forgiveness is different from giving punishment where it is due. So if there is an employee who makes a mistake in the office and he has to be punished, there we cannot say I will bring forgiveness. The forgiveness that we talk about here is about not escaping from the duty, but it is about not carrying the dvesham. It is about not carrying the anger within me. So wherever there is a punishment that needs to be given, as for example the king in those days, or if in this case in the judge cannot say I will forgive you for your mistake. The person will have to go through the punishment according to the law. But the only thing that we have to ensure is we should not bring our personal bias and also our dvesham or hatred within that. We should be able to separate the rational decision with our emotional mind. We are now talking about the emotional faculty. The emotional faculty should be able to forgive, and it should not be carrying that dvesham. Another thing is, some people say that if I forgive, then the other person might take me for granted. the other person may take me as a fool, as if as I'm a low person. I can be taken for granted. I might lose, and by doing that, I might lose respect. That is not correct. We need to deal with the issue and not with the person. We have to understand that the person will, whatever, as I said, the karma will take over. We need not worry about what the other person has done. For all that we know, whatever we are going through today could be the result of the karma that we have done in our past. So we have to understand that what am I looking for is how to improve myself, how to build my virtues. And for that, forgiveness is an important value that I have to inculcate. And so how can I inculcate this value? How can I inculcate forgiveness? We say, it is not possible when someone has used us. We feel that we have been used. Somebody is taking advantage of the situation. Suppose if we say, we have to again come back to the same old thing, that by forgiving that person, we are doing ourselves the biggest benefit. The biggest beneficiary of this forgiveness is myself. Because the moment I forgive the person, I get happiness, I get my calmness back. My mind becomes calm. Otherwise, when I think of that person, every time when I'm alone or when I actually have nothing else to do, I think of that person or think of that whatever situation that has happened, and I bring back those memories and my mind becomes restless again. So by actually forgiving the person, my mind becomes calm. Again, as I said, remember, this is to be something to be practiced at the mind level. At my mental level, I will have to practice. It is not about a physical act here or a sadhana here. I have to bring it into my mind. So how can I inculcate this value? One is, I see the ignorance in the person. I should be able to say, okay, they have done it out of ignorance. Because many a times we will claim that as our justification. Many times we will say that I didn't know and therefore I did it, so I need not be faulted. So we should give the benefit of doubt to the other person also. So they did it out of ignorance. So that is the first way to tell our mind to be able to forgive the other person. And suppose we say, okay, no, they did it on purpose. But actually, they could be ignorant. In Tamil we say, either they are ignorant or in Tamil we say Ariyamai or Iyalamai. Ariyamai meaning they have done it out of ignorance, or they are incapable of not committing that mistake. So we have to look into that incapable nature behind those actions. Ariyamai or Iyalamai. I may or may not be a reason for their actions, because it could be just their swabhava. Their swabhava is that they behave that in that manner. So why do I need to worry about it? I just need to forgive and move on. So this is another way to inculcate the feeling of this value of forgiveness. The third way is to actually inculcate this unconditional compassion. I have to tell myself that I will have to develop this unconditional compassion. Unconditional compassion is where I am able to forgive no matter what the situation is. Under any condition, I am willing to be compassionate to the other person. I am able to see their point of view. Or even if I am not able to see their point of view, I am able to accept them as they are. Another way is to actually, we have to understand and appreciate this, as I said, the value of acceptance. As I said, accepting the person as they are. This value of acceptance is a separate value by itself. Accepting things as they are, accepting people as they are, is very important. Only then we can ask others to accept me as I am. Today we want others to accept us as what we are, but we wouldn't want others to be what they are. So understanding and appreciating this value of acceptance is important. And when we are not in a position to forgive, we normally end up cursing others. We curse mentally, verbally. We do that. Well, what we don't understand is, when we curse, first of all, we are not all Mahatmas or Rishis that when we curse, things happen as what we speak. Okay. First of all, we have not built that much of tapas within ourselves for this curse to actually come true. But even if we have built some amount of tapas, even if we have built some amount of punya, by cursing, that punya gets exhausted. That tapas gets exhausted. That shakti that we have built up would have been used up. So whatever good we have actually built, whatever tapas shakti that we have built, would be exhausted as well. So it is important that we do not curse others, because that tapas shakti is needed for a much higher goal, not for cursing someone else. And next thing we have to understand is, by forgiving, we are not doing anything great. We think by forgiving ourselves we have become a Mahatma. Actually not. In fact, one learned person says, forgiveness is actually correcting a mistake of ourselves, which is blaming others. So generally we tend to blame others, and therefore here we are correcting our mistake, which is not to blame others. And how not to blame others is by forgiving. And therefore forgiving is not a great value actually to feel happy about. This is one way to look at. I'm not saying this is true in all cases. But there are, as I said, there are multiple ways that we have to look at why we should forgive, rather than why we should not forgive. And this is one way to look and tell ourselves why we should forgive. And as I said, another way is to look at, I am able to forgive because I am in a position of strength. Because forgiveness requires more strength than blaming others. So this is one way to bring in forgiveness. Another important thing, the last important thing that I would say is, if we don't forgive, what will happen? If we don't forgive, we will start having this dvesham. We will seek revenge. And by doing that, we will be making more mistakes. We will be making more papa. So forgiveness is one way to stop us from making more papa. doing more papa. So for that purpose at least we should forgive others. So this is forgiveness or kshama. So we have seen so far 4 of the 20 values: amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa and kshanti. Kshanti, as I said, has got 2 things: titiksha and kshama. So we have seen 4 values. The 5th value that Bhagavan brings out is arjavam. Arjavam. Arjavam means uprightness. Riju means, in Sanskritam we say Riju is straight line. Riju means straight line. Arjavam means uprightness, straightforward. What is the opposite of arjavam? We use this word called vakram. In Tamil also we say vakram pudichavan. Vakram. Vakram is the opposite of arjavam. What is arjavam? Arjavam means when my thought, my words and my action, they are on a straight line. They are said to be in a straight line, then it is called as arjavam. So for example, some people, they tell others, I would be there at 10 o'clock. But then in their mind already they would have decided not to go there at 10. They would have decided to go there at only 11. But to say something and do something. So this is not arjava. In fact, the value satyam, truth, is actually a subset of arjava. If you look at it, satyam is where the words and action are in a straight line. What is satyam? Truth, which means what I say, I do. What I do, I say. So this is actually a subset of arjava. Remember, I say that all 3 has to be in a straight line, in the sense I should do what I say and I should be thinking in the same lines. But there is no need for me to say whatever comes into my mind, because my mind could have lot of those vasanas, those negative vasanas that could have come in my mind. So not everything that I get in my mind, I should say it out. In fact, I should not say them. In fact, if there is when we discuss about, even later on when we discuss about truth also, we will say only if there is a benefit we need to say it. Only if there is something good in my mind, only when there is a hitam, I have to say that out. Truth is something which is hitam. If there is dvesham in my mind, if there is hatred in my mind, then it cannot be said outside, it need not be said outside. We should try to change our mind for that.
Benefit, you say intent. If my intent is right, I should say it. If my intent is wrong, I should not.
Yeah. And if anything is said, I should do it. We should do it. If I say something that I will do, I should do it. But if we think something, say something else, so internally I think bad about this person, But then I want to say something nice to this person. That is not arjava. So it is not that when you think bad of that person and then you have to say bad to that person. Shastras do not say that. In fact, it says try to change your mind about that person. If you have nothing to say, just don't say anything. Or some people use it just to get things done. Or you could say nice about that person if your intent is to fake it to make it. To say that, okay, by saying that he's a nice person, I am telling my mind internally, I am auto-suggesting my mind that this person is a nice person, or I want to change the opinion of myself, of this person. So then we can say that. But to say something nice about this person only to get some things done, or only to get some favor from this person, then it is not good. What is the loss here? We develop a split personality. We will have multiple personalities. We ourselves will not be able to identify who we are. We don't know what sort of a person we are. And by doing that repeatedly, slowly we will notice we will lose confidence in ourselves. Because we will not know when we are going to behave in what manner. We will lose confidence in ourselves. So arjavam is very important. And how do we practice arjavam? Taking all these three together is going to be difficult. Taking thought, words, and action together is going to be difficult. So we'll have to take two. First we'll have to take words and action, words and deeds. First we will practice that. Practice truth. That is, words and deeds means practice satyam. I will do what I say. I will live by my word. If I say something, the other person should be confident that I will be able to do it. Unless something extraordinary happens. Otherwise, I will do whatever is in my control, in my ability, I will do it. This is the first way to handle things. And how we can achieve this? We can achieve this if only things that we do, if only we say things we do, whatever we are capable of, only those things we say. Which means we will not be bragging anything. We will not be trying to impress anyone. We will not be trying to do anything or say anything that for the sake of saying things. We will not try to brag. We will not try to impress anyone. We will not try to say something for the sake of saying. So which means whatever I cannot do, I will not say them. And we can start with small things like punctuality. I have told this person I will leave at this person, I will come there at that time. I will try to keep up to that time. So those are things that help us to build this arjavam. Another thing is we have to be aware of what we speak. Sometimes what we speak is not thought through at all. Whatever comes in our mind, even before it gets processed by the intellect, we speak. We do not let it pass through the intellect. We do not let it pass through the rational portion of the mind. So, one thing we have to do is practice this awareness. I am not going to speak anything until I think whether it is the right thing to say, whether it is something that I will be able to do, and only then speak. What happens then? We will be wise with our words. We will be measured in our words. We will be clear in what we want to communicate. It brings clarity in our thought. It brings clarity in our words. So we have to practice this awareness. And if we fail, if we don't keep up to our words, we should punish ourselves. We should give us some self-punishment. Something like, to say, okay, from tomorrow onwards, at least we can say, okay, I'm going to chant this sloka 10 times. Or I'm going to do this Surya Namaskara. Or I can do this Topu Karana. Whatever. That will also give us some physical benefit or some other benefit. Not that when we say punishing ourselves, not like beating ourselves or anything, but just giving us some bit of hardship that will help us to follow this. So that we become more and more aware of what we speak. So once we are able to get this words and deeds, once we are able to get this words and action in line, then we should get the mind into play. Then we should slowly say, how am I able to control my mind? How am I able to change my mind? Ensure that if I am able to speak good of somebody, my mind should start thinking good of that person. So which means the moment I say somebody's name, I should be able to remember or recollect the good things about that person. I will train my mind to only remember, recollect the good things about that person. In that way, I am able to bring my mind also into play. Remember, when we do this, practice this, there could be what some people could say a loss. Initially, because I am losing friends, I am not able to mingle with the crowd, people are not willing to accept me, this does not sell well in this environment, all those things. Or I will not be able to profit. I have been actually lying my way to actually getting some benefit out of people. Now I am not able to. So there could be some loss. But the loss is small, it's temporary, and it's a loss worth having. Because the gain that we are going to get in our personality, the gain that we are going to get in terms of moksha, the gain that we are going to get in terms of liberation is much higher. The calmness in the mind that we will get. Asatyam has got another problem also. I will have to remember what I have lied to others also. Whereas if I am only speaking the truth, it doesn't matter. Because I will not forget, or even if I do, I would have spoken the same thing. It would have been consistent. So, initially people might feel that this is actually making me socially reclusive, making me more introvert. But it is okay. Spiritual gain would be high. Material loss equal to spiritual gain. Other people say, okay, I say this harsh, but that is the truth. If they feel hurt, so be it. Some people claim that, some people use that to actually say harsh words to others. So remember, truth, we will discuss about truth. Satyam is also another one of the values we will discuss later. Truth is not about saying what it is. Saying, I want to be truthful, cannot be an excuse to hurt others. Because sometimes we do that to hurt others, not that we want to speak truth. Because if we want to speak truth, we will speak truth in all cases, in all situations, for everything, including things that will actually be detrimental to us. But we do not do that. We use truth as an excuse to hurt others. We have to be aware of that. So this Arjavam is important. Arjavam, having my thoughts, my words, my deeds in a straight line, is Arjavam.
And with a positive intent.
With a positive intent. Everything is about positive intent. So we have seen 5 values: Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjavam. In this sloka there are 3 more values: Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Stairyamatma Vinigraha. So the next one is Acharya Upasanam. Acharyopasanam. Acharya Upasanam. Acharya is Guru. And here Upasanam here means Seva. Guru Seva. And here Guru means anyone who gives Vedantic knowledge. And Upasanam generally means Dhyanam. Dhyanam, Upasanam means Dhyanam. Upa Asanam. Actually, Upa Asanam means Upa Asanam. Upa means near. Asanam means sit. Actually, sitting next to Guru. And Dhyanam, study. Or here it actually means Guru service. It means Guru Seva. In our introduction to Vedanta discussion, we had seen Karma Yoga. And we saw in Karma Yoga, as a person, we should not be consumer. We should be looking to contribute. At the end of the day, when our life ends, we should be seen as a net contributor to the society. Not a person who has consumed. Not a person who has been able to get the benefit from others. Karma Yoga is about a person who has been able to contribute more, not just to the family, to the whole world. And we have these 5 levels we have seen in Karma Yoga. This Panchamaha Yajnas. At all 5 levels, he should be a contributor. We should be a net contributor at the end of the life. And generally what happens is our general mindset is to see how I can get things without effort or with less effort. Generally our mindset is always, especially in the material world, how I am able to get more for less. So if I go for a business meeting, or even if I go to purchase something, when do I say I made a good deal? When I am able to get more out of something less. The whole sales campaigns are all built around that. When by they giving free gifts, they are basically saying, they are luring us to this mindset of ours, where we want to get something for which I have not given anything. So there is a free gift, I want to get that. Because I don't need to give anything, I don't need to part with anything, but I want to get things. So this whole mindset is about It's about actually not contributing, but more about consuming. Now coming back to this Vedantic knowledge, there are three ways to get knowledge, any knowledge. One is Pushkalena Dhanena Va. It says, Guru Srushtiya Vidya Pushkalena Dhanena Va. Or they say, Vidyaya Vidya Ch13 Naiva Vidyate. So one is Guru Srushtiya Vidya. One is by doing some seva to the Guru, you get this knowledge. Or Pushkalena Dhanena Va. Basically by actually contributing to the Guru, then you actually get this knowledge. Or Vidyaya Vidya. By actually sharing knowledge. You share the knowledge, the other person shares knowledge. That way only we should get knowledge. Ch13 Naiva Vidyate. So one of the ways is to get this knowledge is through Shrushrusha. Nishta, even for Jnana Marga, for this Vedantic knowledge, this Seva Marga, doing this service is very important. We will have to give our time. We will have to give our effort. So how can we do? Not many of us, we like to do seva. Why we don't like to do seva? Because the ego hurts. Ego hurts. It is beneath my dignity to do some service. As in, I do not want to do wash vessels, for example, of somebody else who has eaten their plates or their clothes, or to wash their feet, or to wash their or to clean their house. Our ego hurts because we think it is beneath our dignity to do such work. We keep asking, why should I do this? But then we should ask ourselves, why is it important and what benefit do I get out of it? What benefit in the terms, not the material benefit, but in terms of Brahma Vidya, in terms of this Vedantic knowledge, what benefit do I get? First of all, and let us understand it very clear, this Vedantic knowledge, this Jnana, it can be only got after Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi means a clean mind. And a clean mind can be got only by Karma Yoga. So some people would have reached their Guru without having enough Chitta Shuddhi. So they will still, what is Chitta Shuddhi? Not having those 6 malams. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So they could still have this jealousy, they could still have this pride, they still could have that ego, ahankara. So it could still be in us. So when they do the seva to the Guru, when they do the seva as Karma Yoga, then it in turn gives them Chitta Shuddhi and it makes them eligible for Jnana. That's one. Second is, to get this benefit of knowledge, remember Shastras are all words. Shastram is said in words, it's only said by words. For us to be able to see the benefit behind those words, for me to actually see the value behind what is being said, we need to see the person who has benefited from it. Only if we see the person who has benefited, only then our Shraddha will increase. So we need to go to an Acharya for that. In fact, initially, Shastras by itself will not attract us at all. When somebody says Vedas, it's just another book, I am not interested, it is not attractive enough. But when we see some Acharyas, our Gurus, our Acharyas who have actually followed the life as prescribed by Shastras, and we see the benefit in them, we see their compassion, we see their calmness, we see their vairagya, then we are able to make up our mind. Then we see the value in the Shastras. And so only through Seva, the person becomes close to the Guru and is able to see the benefit. So it's like the advertisements also, right? The advertisements, they say what is the benefit that you get. They say boost is the secret of my energy. So somebody says boost is the secret of my energy. So energy comes from boost. So similarly we see that the Guru has been able to benefit from the Shastras, and when we close to the Guru, we know that the Shastras are the cause for the Guru's stature, and then we start worshipping the Shastras and the Guru. If we forget the Shastras and worship only the Guru, then it becomes cult. It is not about Guru only. It is about Guru and the Shastras. So third one is, when we do this, benefit of following the right sadhana. When we come close to the Guru can suggest and make us do sadhana specific to our spiritual disposition. Where we are, where do we stand, what kind of sadhana will help us, the Guru would be able to understand and advise. For that, we have to come close to the Guru, and the Guru would be able to advise. Finally, why do we need to do seva? Yatha upaste tata bhavati, they say. What we will get, what we worship. Yatha upasate tata bhavati. If we worship the Shastras, if we worship the Guru, we will become like that person. So, yatha upasate tata bhavati. And therefore, acharya upasanam. Acharya upasanam. So, we have seen, today we have seen Shanti, Arjavam, Acharya upasanam. We will see more values in the next class. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Balaji, I'd like to ask a question about forgiveness and upright, right? See, I would like to know, how will you convince the youth or the students, Students, everybody wants to be a favorite of the teacher. The youth who are just entering the workplace, they want to climb up the ladder real fast. So for that you need to kind of, keep buttering your boss, those kind of in the workplace. So if you're going to try, there are going to be some wrong things happening to them. So how are you going to tell the youth that, see, you have to be forgiving everybody who are doing wrong to you, or you have to, be upright at your workplace or your school or whatever, students. So, it's easy for us. Probably we can just kind of, absorb what you're telling, assimilate what you're telling at our age. So at that age, when they're still raw to all these things, how will you tell them?
No, I think they should also be, first of all, it is not easy for us also. I would have to say that. It is, although it looks easy when we listen to, but to actually put it in practice and be able to relate, it is going to be difficult. But having said that, yes, we are able to at least see the value behind it, how the others or how the youngsters would be able to see the value. I think by seeing people around them, some of them have their role models, right? Especially the youth and the students will have teachers as their role model. And if the teachers are able to forgive or are able to say something, they take more value to it. And if the teacher is coming across as a calm person, measured person who doesn't carry hatred, the teacher does give punishment but is not carrying any favoritism within them, then the student would be able to see. Again, it comes to this acharya upasanam only. So basically they are able to see the role model, be able to live by this whatever they teach, and therefore they would be able to follow. For the youngsters, it is all about role model. It is not about we cannot put them to actually go through this to make them understand things. Maybe over a period of time they will do, and some of the youngsters may be able to see the value. Like, if I don't forgive, it is my mind which is actually getting irritated, my mind which is actually getting disturbed. I am the one who is suffering. Some people may be mature enough to understand that. But for others, for youngsters, it's always about role model. So it is always about the teacher becoming the role model to be able to tell the person, okay, look, for them, the students to feel comfortable, the teacher doesn't have any favoritism. I treat everyone equally, but if there is a mistake made, punishments are given, but it is not carried forward. And then let them, and then tell them that, look, forgive others. Then that word will carry more value. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay. If not, okay, any more questions? Otherwise, we'll again meet in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha. Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Hari Om Shri Guru Seva.
Hari Om.